Hello, family. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy E, the Dividend Passport Bro, back with another video, guys. As always, I'd like to say thanks to all of our new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. This is not financial advice. If you are here because you are interested in investing and retiring early, right? The financial independent and retire early, right? So you can do the financial independent and not retire, or you can retire early. Either one, it's your choice, right? You can still work if you want to, like I still do. I still work, right? Because I enjoy what I do and I get paid good to do what I do, right, guys? So you can do that. But remember, I'm only 52 years old and I make video on my portfolio, right? My goal is to retire in the next 3 years when I'm 55. But some people say slow travel. I'm going to slow retire because I like what I do. So I'm going to do as long as I can. Okay, guys? So let's get down to business because today is a different day. So last night, right, President enforced a new tariff policy on China, and then China retaliated. So, but when China retaliated, they didn't come back too close to what we were doing. They came back beneath what we passed. So I don't know. This still affects the common man, the common business people that ship stuff over to China. You got to pay 80 some percent on what you ship to China in tariffs. That's a lot, right? I don't ship stuff to China. I don't ship stuff anywhere, so I have no idea. But with that being said, like the people said, what happened was, right? As you can see, this thing look beautiful. Now I got one bad news, right? I had to sell some of my I had to sell some of my positions today, right? 2,000 shares I had to sell today of Misty. Now I wasn't going to sell Misty. I was going to sell something else. But because I was out, it's always happened when I'm not in front of my computer. I was going to do it this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell probably fiat or something like that and sell all of it. That will cover my margin calls, right? I went to the store. On my way back, I get a notification on my phone saying you sold 2,000 shares of Missy. I'm like, sell? I didn't place an order for Missy. Boom, it hit me. I had margin calls. Margin calls. So I was supposed to get probably 10 grand or 9,000, $8,000, whatever it was in dividend. Now, if you subtract 2,000 from that, right, um, that definitely going to affect my dividend. Anyway, we still survive, right, and we live to fight another day. But look at this green. Look at how green this thing is. This is so beautiful. After all the stuff going on now, tomorrow could be another day where we go down in blaze, right? We might go down blaze tomorrow, but today we survive, right? The portfolio survive. We gain substantial amount in the portfolio, right? And that helps. But you can see everybody is green. We have, I mean, it's green. We got what? One, two, one, two. That's two right there. Three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got about 12 things that are still in the red. But if you look there, like the deep red is only one thing in deep red. Everything else is like in that 1%, right? Everything plus 3%. But guys, you know what? We have to be concerned about ourselves, right? And I thought Messi was going to do better than it did, but we still got what, $1.33 plus from Misty. But Bitcoin rallied today. Ethereum rallied a little bit. I had to sell some Bitcoin also. Uh, I sold the rest of my Bitcoin today, right? And then after that, it went up 7%. But we got to survive, right? So the thing about I always say that if you know how to make money, no matter what happens, you always make money because you just once you learn the process of doing it, right? Then you're good. I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm gonna get rid of my margin, blah 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 blah. And I thought about it, I was like, man, margin, expedite me getting to be a millionaire, right? The extra $200,000 plus that I needed to hit that million mark came from margins. So at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to my same strategy. The only changes I'm going to make would be to cut down the amount of margins I spent. Now, like I said, this was a learning process, right? This was a learning process to where even though my portfolio went down what 20%, but we still good. I mean, we don't know how much it's gonna go down. We don't, right? It's just one day, right? We don't know how much it's gonna go down. You see, crypto is fighting the way back up, right? Crypto fighting the way back up, but we don't know how long stuff gonna go down. Bitcoin is up, like I said, 7% today. Ethereum is up 12%. Even though if you look at it, it's still crazy low, but it's up. XRP 12%, Solano 14%. All these guys are up a huge percentage, right? So I mean, what you gonna do? I keep telling you guys, continue to invest. If you don't have issues with margins, man, guys, can you imagine if I didn't have any margin right now? I probably wouldn't be getting the kind of money I get in my portfolio. Maybe I'll be getting half of what I get in my portfolio, maybe 15 grand, something like that. But that would be all my money without any stress of margin, right? But since I have margins, I have to learn to live with margins. Eventually, I'm going to pay it off. But now that I have it and I know what to do as far as to not use up all your goddamn margins. Do not use up all your margins, right? That's the strategy. Do not use up all your margins. It's the whole strategy. So that way you have that buffer, have extra cash in the portfolio. Also, not just when I say not use up your margin, but have extra cash in the portfolio, so you don't have that issue when you have to worry about margin calls, right? Um, but like I said, we are in the learning process. I've been doing it for 5 years, but within that 5 years, I just started using margins. What 6 months ago? So I mean, excuse me, it is a learning. It is a learning process, but it feels good to see the market pushing back and fighting back to 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 get back to where it was right a couple of days ago. That feels pretty good because when I look at the pre-market this morning, when I log in and check this morning, I woke up, I'm logged in, I look at the pre-market, it was down 1%. I'm like, oh, another day. But at some point, I went back dealing with the baby, getting her ready. Well, actually, I couldn't get her ready because she didn't get up till 11 o'clock. She slept all day. And I was doing some work, and the market opened, and I refreshed my browser. I was shocked, okay, because from a negative 20 some $1,000 from yesterday, we were in a positive 17K, and I was like, yeah, it started at that yesterday, and then 12 o'clock came, it went down. I think it was like 12 or 1, it went down a little bit right before I left to go out, and then I was like, no, what? I'm not gonna sit here and keep looking at the stuff. I'm gonna go get my stuff from the store for my baby. And then when I ran out, came back, I was like, my portfolio up crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is good. Okay. Now I get this every time I log in. I like to check this, even though they tell me I have to wait. I still can't activate my portfolio, right? I already checked this today, and I still couldn't activate it. Every time I go to activate it, say I gotta wait up to 21 days. So I figure maybe next month sometime um, we're gonna be good here. But I can't wait to get this sucker going because I gotta get money into this portfolio. Now I've already been considering moving uh, my portfolio from here. I've been considering it, right? I know I've talked to you guys about it a couple of times. I've already been considering moving this portfolio. Move my interface out to it. I've already been considering moving this portfolio. I mean, the only reason I think right now it will keep me from moving this portfolio is because of the bank account that I have with JobSwap, the checking account. I use it when I travel, put some cash in there, um, you know. But now we got a few $100 coming in on Friday, and that money not coming in on Friday, actually going to be used to pay for my Tesla, um, because I want to transfer some money to that account, but it's not going to get there in time because, of course, um, it's Charles Schwab. The other option would be to drive to the branch. We have a branch out here in Atlanta. The other option would be to drive out here to the branch in Atlanta and make a deposit there. Um, I probably do that either on Saturday, if not, it'll be on Monday, because I'm planning to do my taxes on Saturday. And I'm planning to do my taxes on Saturday. Um, that's the plan. But you guys can see, right? I didn't buy it today. I got margins coming in, and that margins, like I said, it's gonna more likely be go towards my car payment. I'm just gonna transfer it into the account, um, and then it's gonna go towards my car payment. Uh, that's where we are, guys. So as you can see, it's the portfolio is still down 16%. Now, at some point today, I guess it went up. Portfolio went up to $45,000. Let me see. Make sure it's just the fidelity portfolio. At some point, it went up to 45,000, and then it dropped down. But in my actual portfolio, we went up like $37,000. This is 45, but it went down some more. It went down some more. Excuse me, guys. It went down some more from that 45 to 37,000. Right. So we still down, um, you know, a few percentage um, more than it's showing over here. It's still good. It's still good. Um, like I said, I'm hurt because what I was trying to sell, when I got the notification, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I got to the end of the day, right? That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, I got to the end of the day to sell. Um, I was going to sell fiat. I was like, I can sell fiat. The fiat actually all green. It's not in the red. I was like, okay, I can sell fiat, and that's 100% of the money I have in there, and that will go towards margin calls, and I can collect, you know, that 3,000, almost $3,000 from that 2,000 shares that was sold. That's almost 3 grand, right? That's painful. Thinking about it, that kind of painful, right? Um, but I mean, it is what it is. You live and you learn, right? Because I knew there was due that particular margin was due today. I was supposed to pay that out today or add money to the portfolio today, but that happened. So now instead of me getting what $9,000, $10,000 on Friday, I'll be getting probably 7,000 something on Friday. So yeah, you guys get as I take that deep breath. That's is a pain, right? It's a pain because I understand because the margin is 50% margin. So of course, if they're going to sell something, they're going to sell something that's higher um, margin. So for now, my overall portfolio doesn't look as scary. It still look bad, right? It still look bad. We're still down hundred some $1,000 in the portfolio, but it's an opportunity to grow, right? Because like I said, even if the market takes its time to go back, right? We're not gonna see 10% days like in my portfolio. There is up 22%, right? In my portfolio, um, that's crazy. Of course, you got to understand that it only shows the actual money that I have. It don't actually show that margin number. But over here, you get to see um, the overall. of the portfolio, right? So I mean, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. The income, your income drop, of course. And right now, I don't give a damn about that, right? I don't care about the annual income right now. Right now, it's just enough income so we can continue to grow consistently and a little bit at a time. And like I told you guys, what I was starting to do before all this happened was to stop paying down my debt, right? Because I have credit cards debt, I have all these other debts that I have, even though I'm trying to get to $60,000 a month. There's a big chance that's not going to happen. With everything that happened in the past 2 weeks, if it gets better, getting to 60K a year will be that goal. Probably that goal might happen at the end of the year, but for now, my goal, right, is to pay off a lot of the credit card debts I have. So, um, I'm gonna start doing the snowball method, just like I invest in my portfolio to try to pay off one things get back to where we can pull money out of the portfolio without any stress to the portfolio, um, to stop paying things off, a little bit at a time. Um, and let the portfolio. I mean, I don't have to put my own cash into the portfolio anymore, so that's a good thing, right? Well, I take that back. If I with all the stuff going on in margins, I had to put some cash in the portfolio. But as things continue to grow, we will still buy, but we're gonna let things sit there. We let the cash sit there, right? So let's say for every month, if I get 20, 30 grand into the portfolio, I might spend half of that on paying off debt, and maybe half will be reinvested, and then half will leave in it. So like, let's say if I get 30 grand, right? I might take out. No, I'll take that's reverse. I might take out if I get 30 grand, I'm gonna leave 15 in the portfolio, reinvest 750, 7,500, and then take 7,500 to pay off debt. Okay, that way I can build up a buffer. So within the next year, slowly but surely, we will get the income back up, but we're gonna have stuff sitting in the portfolio, right? So let's go over here. I'm still waiting for this thing to update, right? Because this sold on my shares, so of course the income is gonna drop. At some point, I thought it was gonna update, but when I updated it didn't update. So at some point, this income is gonna drop lower than this. Now, when we look at this right here, this only have a fidelity in it. This is only fidelity, right? And as far as I know, this is up to date, right? Because this thing update faster. This one right here is still showing a lot for fidelity. And I mean, it's just sold 18,000 worth of position today. The portfolio went up 30 some K. So it went up, but that's take away from the income that I was supposed to get. So when they deduct that, this income is gonna drop. All right. But like I say, the bottom line today, with the income, with the growth in the portfolio, okay, we can lose all, like I said, we can lose all that tomorrow. Right? Depending on what happens. But for what I'm seeing, for what I've seen so far in the after hours, right? It don't look bad, right? Things are still things are still going in the after hours, right? You see that this is my Google and the other position I have in here, Nvidia. So usually, I mean, when these guys go down, it's gonna kind of drop all the way down. But this is after hours. You can still see the extended hours after hours. Extended hours still same difference, right? These guys are still doing okay. And then if you look at a bunch of the positions that I have here that I track, a lot of them, um, they're still doing okay, right? I think I got one or two here, one right there, TRT, um, that is down, and everything else, and CTA is down. Everything else is green, right? So it's a good sign that we might be heading in the right direction. Okay, like I've been telling you guys, if you don't have margin like me, you don't have to worry. Now, even if I have, when I start playing to add more buffer to my margins, let's say if I had a month or 2 months to do that, I wouldn't have no margin call issues, right? Because I would have let 30, 40 grand, 60,000, 40,000 sit in there as a buffer, and maybe I would have had one margin call. But as the market was going to go down, me knowing me, right? If I paid $40 for something and it's now 17, $18, I was going to buy, and that would have got me into margin call or got me not in margin call, because that would have cut down my actual cost, right? So, and you guys know me how I operate. If you've been paying attention to how I operate last 6 months, you will kind of know how I get the impulse to buy all the time. But getting to a point where the portfolio is safe is important, right? And I think having the uh, cash swap portfolio kind of helps me with that. The only thing I don't like, it takes so long to transfer funds into cash swap. Um, and when I'm in the U.S., I can just go to the branch. I can go to cash swap branch in Buckhead. They got one in Buckhead, I think, over there. Um, in Sandy Springs, Sandy Springs. They have one closer to me, and I can go there and make a deposit. But if I'm out of the country, that's impossible for me to go make a deposit. I might have to trust somebody, be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna send you $10,000. I need to go deposit for me." People having financial issues, you don't want to tempt people. Be like, "Yo, man, but can I get 100?" People say, "No, you need somebody to deposit $10,000 for you." So that's some of the things. But hopefully, things like I said, hopefully things continue to go in the right direction. Our income trajectory already jacked up, right? This is 28, but it's going to be down lower because a couple of $1,000 already been taken from the top from Misty. I had like 6,000. Actually, it sold 6,000, 600 plus of my Misty. So it's not just uh, 2,000, right? Because I had 6,800 plus Misty, and right now I have 4,168. So yeah, that's a big hit to my income for this month. Now, like I said, it's a big hit to my income for this month, but I'm not gonna worry about it because God taketh, He giveth. Right? It took 18 grand and He gave me 34, 37 back. Right? So almost double what was sold today. And hopefully it can double it again tomorrow. That's the kind of energy we need, right? And let's see. Now this thing's went down, right? I was telling you guys it was going to go down, right? It went back down. So um, it's still cool, 7 million in that period of time, but I'm not really looking at it. This is my peak. So I'm 50, 52, 53, 54, 55. This is my period right here, right? 55. So my portfolio will be over 3 million by that time. So this is my period here. Now, when I came back, with everything that's going on, um, I am dead serious about selling my properties here, um, and moving to Colombia, paying cash, um, 100 grand for a condo there, 3 bedroom, a 4 bedroom, whatever, plus, and just I don't have to worry about mortgage or any of that stuff, right? Maybe do some other investments there, rental or stuff like that, just to keep me busy. Um, but at some point, like I said, my goal is once I get my portfolio to a certain point, will be to come back to the U.S. and build, duplexes, right? I have a real estate company. I have a junk removal company. Um, so some of those things is stuff that I've been planning ahead. Um, but when you have hits like we've been dealing with the last few weeks, um, it really changed your mindset, right? Because like I said, in the US, I'm spending 12 plus grand a month to live here. Um, and if I'm not here, I don't need to spend the 12 plus grand a month. In Colombia, I only need one, right? Um, and if I'm paying for a place to rent, I mean that's still if I'll show you guys something. I know I talk about this all the time. Let me see. Let me come out of here. So my Colombia bill. Uh, Colombia bill. So I'm going to get another apartment in Colombia, and this is what I pay in Colombia right now. So this bill right here coming down. This is for my apartment, right? And this right here was added for this month for the apartment there. And this is the apartment. So light, gas, all that stuff, water, internet, all that stuff. Um, I haven't. I don't have to. I don't have to worry about that right now. So light, gas, water. I don't have to worry about that right now. Internet. I'm gonna have to add that later on whenever I go back. But as you can see, now this bill here it goes up and down because the light bill fluctuates depends on how many people stay in my apartment. Um, I don't know why the water bill was so high. There's got to be an error. I need to go back and check. Um, I must have put that in the wrong place. Cause why would a water bill? The water bill is so high, $90 something. That's a lot for water bill in Colombia. Now my apartment, we do a lot of laundry, washing clothes, and people in and out of the apartment. The housekeeper, they do the laundry in the apartment. But this is the apartment, right? And this is the Airbnb for the month, income for the month. So the Airbnb income for the month covers. This is not the actual income for this month, right? That was previous month. This is going to change when I add in the actual income because usually I use the Airbnb to cover the expenses in Colombia, right? So that expenses from my Airbnb will cover my Colombia expenses. So technically, right, we should be close to, I would say, a little bit over $1,000 for this month. Um, Next month, right now we booked for this month, next month, maybe about 1,800. So that will cover most of the expenses for this month and next month. And so I don't have to worry about much. And then if I need to take a break and go get some sun, I just block out the apartment and go to Cartagena. Now, like I said there's a plan for me to get another apartment. I'm working with the agent just sent me a message. I haven't read it because I wanted to focus on this video today and make this video because my last couple of videos, you guys know I've been frustrated because the market, was something you don't have control over, right? You just sit there and frustrate. So I was talking to one of my friends today. She said, Edwin, why don't you just sell all your positions and get out and wait for things to get better? I was like, it's not that simple, right? Because what I owe, what I own, and what my margin is. So if I sell, I still got to give people the margin, the money back. So I might as well sit there and fight to get myself back, right? And get myself above my margins. Or even have the margin go up, but what I borrow is still less than what they give me. And then she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, believe me, I'm not an idiot. Just like sit there, oh, let the money go down. But either way, if I give up, if I decide to sell and pay back the margins, I'm still gonna owe them money. So what do? Sit there and wait. You gotta wait. You wait and see what happens. She said, okay, now it makes sense. Because some people don't understand how the market goes and trading, and even though I'm not a day trader, but we still buy and sell from time to time. But usually we just buy and hold, right? Buy and hold and collect income. So that's what it is. And another thing I have to start doing is set set aside when I start collecting these incomes, right? Is set aside money for taxes. So I can know exactly what my tax is going to be. So whenever I do my taxes, if I do owe at the end of the year, I would have that money to just go ahead and pay off the taxes, right? Or I can always like set it up to where I make payments and I can use the money to pay up the taxes to pay up the taxes. And you still have to pay taxes on that too. So I mean, but I'd rather do that, right? Collect, if I have money set aside, I gotta pay up that taxes and then collect it. Anyway, I'm just cheap to a point where it's like it's crazy. But it feels good to see the market go back up, and I hope you guys portfolio done amazing today. You were able to recuperate some of your losses, and I mean it's not a loss until you sell, right? So today I do have a loss because they sold some of my positions, so that's considered a loss, right, for me. But overall, with the growth back into the portfolio, it feels good. Now I'm planning to do something crazy, right? Because like I said, I need to buy another property in Colombia, and I thought I was like, yeah, maybe I got to see how I can pull money out of my Roth IRA as a loan to pay for the property and then pay the money back. So I gotta talk to Fidelity probably tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it today. It's gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to Fidelity tomorrow to see how I can do that. And if they tell me yes, I can do it the way I think I can, then I'm gonna pull at least about $55,000 out, maybe 55 grand out of that portfolio of that thing as a loan, and use that money to buy the property that I've been telling you guys about, because the owner is gonna agree to pay her what she have in 5 to 6 months, and then the balance loan that she have, I will pay that off to the bank. The property will be in my name, but she and I will have a second agreement to where I make payments for her every month until she get the difference. And I think the difference is like 35 grand or something. I think it's like 35,000 or something like that to her, what she get. And that's nothing. And she gonna let me break that up into 5 6 months. I mean, even my little portfolio or my daughter tuition portfolio will be able to cover that. But that's the plan. So, I've been shaking and baking, trying to get stuff done. Hopefully Saturday I'm going to do my taxes. I'm going to know if I'm going to have to pay or get some money back. But when I get some money back, I have to pay. You guys not going to know. I'm not telling y'all that. Okay, that tax is personal finance. That's my. I'm not sharing that information with you guys. But guys, you know what? As you can tell, I'm in a good mood, as I should, because the market been killing out my portfolio, and it feels good to survive another day. Even though we had to split out some funds for margin calls, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We're going to continue to hang in there and survive. Like I said, the portfolio, the income is going to drop, right? Income is going to drop a few $1,000s here and there, maybe 5 10 grand. It doesn't really matter. But the main thing is to continue to get income. And I'm working on switching the portfolio around to stop that paying higher. So at some point, um, you know, you guys gonna see, right? You guys gonna see. But once again, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys liking and sharing the content. And guys, we do have a membership on the channel. So if you want to support the channel, right, you can join the membership. I haven't posted any content in the membership uh, portion yet. But if you want to join the membership, feel free to join the membership. Guys, also remember to join the Discord. That is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, join the Discord and leave a comment on the video. If you like the video, leave a comment. If you don't like the video, leave a comment. Anyway, I appreciate that, right? Because like I said, I'm still learning, right? If I wasn't learning, I wouldn't have issues with margins, right? I would be fine. But I'm still learning. And when you are a CEO, which I am for my personal finance, and you just focusing on growth, right? And you're not focusing on having a reserve, right? When something shift in your business as far as purchasing and stuff like that, it can cause you to lose business because now you're not having the income coming in to continue to grow, and you don't have the budget, you don't have the, you know, the extra savings to support the business, right? And then you have problems because you can't pay people, you can do all that stuff, you have to sell stuff. So this is how I think with my portfolio. I think as a business owner, right? And I tell you guys all the time, I take my personal stuff away from it. It's hard to do, but once you do that, you find a different level of peace. I'm telling you guys, you find a different level of peace that, like I was telling you yesterday, it is, if I'm going to lose everything, okay, I lose everything. But I know how to make money. I've been doing it for 5 years. So I know within a year, I can be right back where I'm at today. But this time around, or the next time around, I would have learned not to make the same mistakes, right? And like I said, I'm also like I'm planning on selling my properties here. Uh, I'm starting with a smaller one, get that sold because it's paid off. There's no balance on that stuff. I'm just pay that off, take that money, and throw it into the portfolio, right? And because I've been telling you guys about set up an account as a business instead of me under my personal name. That way, it's good for tax purposes also than in my personal name. So some of the things I've been looking at, right? I've been telling you guys I've been looking at this, but the fact that I'm here now, I might have to run back to Colombia in a couple weeks. Probably drop my daughter off and come back and finish up everything I'm doing here. But as the goal is right now is to get rid of one property in the U.S. Even though the property that I'm trying to get rid of is generating income. This one I'm in, it's my house. It don't make me a penny, and it's my biggest liability that I have, right? But I can't sell my house and go live with my kids. I can't sell my house and go live with my ex-wife. So that has to be something that when I do it, it'll be the last thing I do. Then I'll be gone. And then when I decide to come back uh, to start my project, um, then I can rent something or get an Airbnb, get something short term or whatever I need to get that done. But I talk a lot today. As you guys can see, like I said, I'm in a good mood. I appreciate you guys for all the support. And you know what? That's why I like telling I share my stuff with you guys because everything I get from the channel is all positivity. Even though the market's been shit, right? It's been shit the past 2 weeks. Okay, it's been like that for a while, but the past 2 weeks been worse. And I always get one or two people say, "Hey, hang in there. It's gonna be okay. Keep doing what you're doing." Guys, you don't know how much I appreciate that, right? Because this is where I can open up. That's why I say it make it so easy for me to deal with this because whatever on my mind, I can come have a conversation with you guys and get off my chest. And when I log off this thing and shut down this computer, I don't get back on here. I might get on later on and watch some YouTubes or stuff like that, but that's it. I don't be stressing out about nothing. I think about ways. Okay, what can I do to get more cash? Because I got a house that have equity in it, but I can't pull no money out because I'm overextended. I got a house that's paid for, 100% paid for. I can't pull no money out because I'm overextended. So it's those kind of things that you think about. It's like, why you house rich but you cash poor? It's good for my net worth, right? But it's not good for me pulling cash to say, okay, well, I need this money. I can right now if I can have 100,000, just throw it into the market and be like, okay, well, 25 in Misty, 25 in Palantir, and just kind of split it up that way, right? And add some couple of weeklies in there. I mean, 2020 in full positions for the four groups, and then have one or two weeklies in there. I mean, that'll be gravy, right? Just sit there and collect bank. At 100 grand, I know for sure I'll be getting anywhere from 5,000-6,000 a month, maybe 10 grand a month, easy from 100,000. And I mean, That's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? 10 grand a month for 100K. That's retirement money. That's money I can go and live in Colombia stress free for the rest of my life, putting 10 grand a month and only living off of two. When I said two, I'm living better off of one because my house is going to be paid for. So, guys, you know what? Like I said, I don't want to talk too much. The video already long. I love you guys. Thanks again for the support. Thanks for keeping me going. Thanks for the motivation. I know I try over here to tell you guys to keep doing this, but it feels good to hear back. Say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. All right, guys. I love you guys. We're gonna do this again tomorrow. Hopefully, tomorrow is one of those days that we can say yes. We ended the week in a positive, right? And then we wait for the following week to see what happens next. I love you guys. Peace out.